Hey everyone, Dr. Amy Abelar, Acupuncture Practice Systems. This video is talking about the number one reason why acupuncturists are afraid to hire other acupuncturists. And it is the classic, I don't think they're gonna do it as good as me, right? Nobody is as good as me. I can tell you there's an amazing book I highly recommend if you are considering growing a business and trying to have other employees, is the book by Dan Martell called Buy Back Your Time. Phenomenal book. One of the things that he says in there is a quote about, I don't remember if it was his quote or a quote that he was quoting from somebody else, but it was amazing. It was saying something along the lines of 80% done by someone else is 100% awesome. And basically what that means is, you're right, not everybody is going to do things exactly the way that you would do them because they're not you, but you can work on training them to be more like you. You can have specific parameters of what they need to do in order to have a service be similar to yours, right? There's a lot of things that you want to make sure is very clear and very continuity. You want continuity between a person coming in and getting a treatment from another acupuncturist you've hired and a person coming in and getting a treatment from you, right? You don't want them to leave patients on the table for 45 minutes and you do 25. You don't want them to do add-ons for free and you charge. You don't want, you get the point. You want to make sure that everything is pretty similar. There are a lot of ways that you can make sure that you set policies that will create that to happen. And obviously there's lots of things you need to look for in an acupuncturist to make sure they're going to be more aligned with you. We talk a lot about that in the Clinical Architect membership for Acupuncture Practice Systems. But one of the top things that happens with acupuncturists is they are afraid to hire other providers because of that fear that they won't do it quite like me. And the reality is, again, it's not going to be exactly the same way that you would do it, but you're going to reach a point where you cannot take on more patients. You only have so many hours in the day, and you're going to have to delegate something, right? Ideally, the first things you delegate are things that don't require an acupuncture license, admin tasks, laundry, cleaning, restocking, ordering inventory, things like that. The next best thing is going to be to start, hiring other people. Those people remove tasks from your plate, but they're not income generating tasks, right? They are saving you time. An income generator is going to be another provider. So if you are interested in making more money, at some point you're going to have to hire another provider. And when you do, you should be able to accept the fact that they are not going to be 100% like you. But again, if they can do 80% of the job or 90% of the job that you do, you have now made money off of them treating patients. Let's say, just throwing out numbers, let's say you charge $90 for a treatment and you pay them $45. You get $45, they get $45. So a patient has gotten a treatment, the other acupuncturist has a job, and you've just made $45 and you didn't treat a patient, right? They did. So think about the benefits of growing your practice, having more patients be able to be accommodated, employing a fellow acupuncturist, giving them a job, right? And then, you're making money. So I would highly suggest that you work on setting the ego aside, that nobody else will be able to do it exactly like you, and you work on hiring a great provider who, you don't want to hire someone who's garbage, right? You want to hire someone who's got skills, who knows what they're doing, who has some experience, and ideally experience in the types of clientele that you have, right? If you have the majority of your practice is orthopedics, then you probably want to hire someone who also does orthopedics. That way, there's not a lot of training on how to treat orthopedic clients because they come from a completely different background. It's somebody who already has a lot of experience in that field. Experience within the field for that specific specialty. So, again, looking at things from the perspective of, is this person going to be able to treat patients? Is that patient going to have a positive experience? Is that patient going to get a great treatment? And maybe that patient is going to get a treatment that is 80 to 90% of the type of treatment you would give them, but that still is amazing. That still is a great treatment, and that's still more money in the business. It's another acupuncturist employed, another client happy, and I think all of that is just a win-win-win situation. So highly recommend, if you're on the fence about it, check out the clinical architect piece that talks a lot about how to look for the right acupuncturist so that you can find a great hire. But again, at some point, you're going to have to hire someone else, or you're going to have to just be turning away patients. And if you've already built a business where you've got patients that want to come in and you have the capacity now to hire someone else, rather than turn those patients away, I would say hire, at least give it a shot to employ another acupuncturist, and then see where it goes, because it could be something super amazing for both your business and your clients.